Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to ChannelBK. My name is Brian. Not the final list of the year. Technically, top 20 movies will be coming out next year, obviously at some point. But top 50 albums of 2024. This is a big one. We're going to jump right into it. Honorable mention is the SABLE EP from Bon Iver. I'm obviously putting it on here because I didn't listen to a lot of EPs, so I'm giving this a shout out. So let's get into it. Number 50, Sundiver, Boston Manor. At 49, we got Negative Spaces by Poppy. At 48, we got Bright Future, Adrianne Lenker. At 47, we got Lives Outgrown from Beth, Gibbons. At 46, we got King of the Mischievous South Volume 2, the new album from Denzel Curry. And at 45, yeah, put it in the comments. I don't care. It's here. I didn't, love it as much as everyone else. Brat, Charli XCX. 44, Cascade, Floating Points. 43, we got the new album from Uboa, Impossible Light. At 42, Big Ideas, Remi Wolf. At 41, Hit Me Hard and Soft, the surprise album of Billie Eilish. And at 40, I Got Heaven, Mannequin Pussy. Shout out to Joshua Kirk on that one for introducing me to that. 39, Loss of Life, MGMT. 38, we got Soccer Mommy, another great album, Evergreen, is at 38. 37, Max Richter, In a Landscape, gorgeous album, gorgeous. 36, Parannoul shows back up with Sky 100. And at 35, the wildest concept album, Samurai, Lupe Fiasco at 35. 34, Wall of Eyes, The Smile Are Back. 33, Night Palace, Mount Eerie. Huge album, very good album, lots going on, big ideas, still very fantastic. 32, Wild God, Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. And at 31, Heavy Glory, the debut solo album from the singer of Ice Age, Elias Ronefelt. Again, I apologize if I'm saying his name incorrectly. 30, Dark Times, Vince Staples. At 29, we got Cowboy Carter from Beyonce. At 28, Triple Digits, 112, Richie with the T. 27, Patterns in Repeat, the gorgeous new album from Laura Marling. And at 26, People Who Aren't There Anymore, Future Islands. At 25, Chromacopia, Tyler, the Creator. I talked about this a little bit in the What's on Repeat episode. I think out of this run of 4 albums, this is probably my least favorite. It still does a lot of things well. Tyler coming through with sort of a collective project of everything he's been known for up until this point and still puts out something that is very solid. And I think a lot of the ideas on here are some of the most fleshed out ideas he's ever had. 24, In Waves, Jamie XX. Just one of the most fun, lively electronic albums of the year. It's so exciting to see Jamie XX back. Super exciting. Jamie, keep them coming. We want more. 23, another electronic album, Tidal, Memory, EXO, Igloo Ghost. Igloo Ghost comes back with an album that is so ethereal, so atmospheric, just it's incredible. The soundscapes on here are absolutely wonderful. 22, Tank, Idols. Idols have been kind of in a weird slope lately. And this album, I think, kind of pulls them back into a sound that I think people are comfortable with, but also, again, still doing things that are experimental, different for them. And it's still fantastic. I still really enjoy this album. 21, You Won't Go Before You're Supposed to. Knocked Loose. Yeah, this album's kind of crazy. This album is crazy. It's intense. And I'm shocked that it is as high up as it is. It's pretty gnarly. I love it. 20, Cutouts, The Smile. Shockingly, I really like this album more than their other album that came out this year. it felt more immediate, and it definitely had a lot more intricacies to it that I vibed with more. At number 19, All You Embrace, One Step Closer. Again, thank you to Josh for introducing me to this band. This album is just fantastic, kind of pop punk, punk rock in that style. Very well done. Number 18, we got some more hardcore rock. Spiral in a Straight Line, Touche Amore. Limelight was a fantastic album. That was actually my favorite album of 2020. And this album kind of brings them back into a more straightforward direction. Again, still doing some experimental things, but it sort of, after those last two albums, kind of brings their focus back a little bit. Number 17, Prelude to Ecstasy, The Last Dinner Party. It feels crazy that this album came out this year. It came out so early in the year, but it is catchy. It is emotional. There's some great songwriting. Instrumentally, it's fantastic. Wonderful, wonderful album. 16, What Now? Brittany Howard. She is just going all out on this album. Her debut was solid. Obviously, it was a little bit more laid back and a little bit more not restrictive, safe. This album, she comes in punching. She is going crazy on this album with the production and just the vocals. It's incredible. 15, Post-Human, Next Gen, Bring Me the Horizon. I think this album's fantastic, personally. I really, really, really enjoy it. It is a little messy, but they are still doing this sound very, very well, and I really just love the direction that they're going, and it's going to be interesting to see where they go after this. But again, fantastic. Number 14, an album that at this point, the number sadly is very different. No title as of 13 February 2024, 28,340 dead. Godspeed You Black Emperor. What an album. Probably their best since they've come back. And again, an album that says so much with their sonics and with everything that's sadly going on in Palestine and Gaza. And again, like with that context and just the soundscapes of this album, it's haunting. It's just incredible. Incredible. Free Palestine. 13, Charm, Clario. This album rocks. I think she sounds fantastic, and it's the most into one of her albums I've been. I just think it's so much more lively than her last album, and it just has such a great flow as well. 12, 13-inch, Frank Beltrame, Italian Stiletto with Bison Horn Grip Shoo Shoo. Again, another group that I've always respected. I've never loved. This album, whoa. Amazing. This album's amazing. I also won one of the cassettes where Jamie is high and he's explaining what's going on the album. So shout out to them as well, because that I think is awesome that, they did that. And the fact that I actually got one of these exclusive cassettes from it. It's awesome. And then at number 11, Smile, ha! That's not the name of it. It's just Smile with the happy face. Porter Robinson. Again, I love this album. It's emotional. I think the sonics are great. Porter Robinson, I think, pulls off something that shouldn't be pulled off. I think he makes it work. He does it well. And it's one of my favorite kind of electronic pop albums of the year. It's so fantastic. Number 10, here we go. The new sound, Jordy Greep. We didn't get a new Black Midi. We don't know if they're ever going to be a thing again. This solo album, though, it is what it is. It's just lush, and all of the soundscapes and just Jordy and his vocals. It feels like with the Black Midi records, it feels like every single Black Midi record, even their second album, felt so tight-knit. This just feels like he is going off in any direction doing what he does. And it's fantastic, and it's just so well done. And for an album that's like an hour long, it flies by so fast. Number 9, No Name, Jack White. An album that nobody really knew what was going on. We were listening to it on YouTube. It finally has a name, and then he does all these rollouts for it. And it is probably his best album next to Fear of the Dawn for me. It is classic White Stripes with some kind of newer Jack White sounds in there. And it's front to back, just a rockin' album. It's amazing. Number 8, The Great American Bar Scene, Zach Bryan. I'm finally getting into Zach Bryan. I didn't listen to his self-titled album. It was not an album I got around to, and I'm sort of catching up there. And this album is, again, it's long, and it, maybe could have been shorter, but it doesn't feel like it needed to be. It's every song just sounds so lush, and just the sounds he uses on here is fantastic, and it goes all over the place. 28, one of my favorite songs of the year. Wish it was like an actual single, and it's probably my favorite song on the album. It's just incredible. Number 7, She Reaches Out To. Chelsea Wolfe. Again, another artist I've always liked, I never loved. This new album of hers is fucking fantastic. It, I think, hits in a place like kind of like the Shoo Shoo record, where it is so loud and abrasive, and yet she just pulls it off in a way that has that catchiness to it. And again, she has always been an artist I've really liked and respected, but my oh my, this album is probably one of her best. It's just incredible. Number 6, Only God Was Above Us, Vampire Weekend. What a Vampire Weekend album. It really is Vampire Weekend doing something that they know so well, some newer stuff here and there, and it's an album that is so Vampire Weekend and is keeping their legacy going, and just such a tight-knit album with some fantastic songwriting and some great indie rock charm. It's fantastic. Number 5, I Laid Down My Life For You, JPEG Mafia. What a, in my opinion, one of his most complete albums he's ever put out. It feels like what he's always been, but so much more refined, so much more focused. He has it so much tighter in this album, and I think just the flow of it is a lot more condensed and focused than he's ever had before. And the songs are still great for it too. And he kind of flows through some classic JPEG sounds, some more experimental stuff, but also kind of giving us stuff he's never had before. The end of this album is so emotional. It's fantastic. Number 4, I Want to Disappear, The Story So Far. Just a fantastic pop punk album that is not like Jeff Rosenstock or Pup. It's definitely in that vein of what Warped Tour bands are, but it's still solid, and it is exactly what it is, and I love it for that. It's fantastic. Parker sounds great on it, and there are some just banging tracks, and the emotions of, him losing his father and the songwriting on it it's probably one of my most re-listened to albums of the year, for sure. Number 3, Fade and Alcohol, Japan Droids, their final album, sadly. And just like The Story So Far, this does exactly what they do so well. They're kind of taking what they did on their last album a little bit, and they're putting it here, and it's still fantastic. And it's, I think a lot of what people didn't like on their last record works very well here. And again, I said a lot of what I said so much on the last What's on Repeat, so you can check that out as well. Number 2, once again, I said a lot of my opinions on this album on What's on Repeat. GNX, Kendrick Lamar, riding around in my GNX with Anita Baker in the tape deck. There's nothing about this album that I can say more, because it's, in my opinion, his best album since To Pimp a Butterfly. It is freeing for Kendrick. It feels like the first time he's putting out something that is just it's an album where he's just putting these ideas out there. It's funny, it's fun, it's charismatic, it's dark, it's deep, it's emotional, it's beautiful, it's poppy, it's experimental. It's everything he's done, but some of the stuff that he's known for that maybe I haven't loved before, he does perfectly on this album. But number 1, this album has not changed since it came out. Kendrick Lamar was close, but this album is still number 1. Harboring the Hurt I've Caused by Corey Wells. Just a beautiful, haunting, fantastic singer-songwriter album. Again, you need to know what you're getting into here, and it's not something that reinvents what this genre or style is, but again, His songwriting is incredible. His vocals are impeccable. It's a nice, tight 9-song, 30-something minute album. And it's, it's incredible. I loved his debut. I think this is even more refined. And, I think my initial reaction was a little upsetting just because of how long it was. But I have literally been listening to this album all year. It's, again, haunting. It's amazing. And Corey, you're the man. I love it. It's great. Check it out because this is obviously one of the more underrated albums on my list. But that is it for List Week for at least this year. Like I said, movies will be coming next year, as they always do. But if any of these albums you share an opinion with, leave it all in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe. Check out my concerts. Check out my singles. Check out all the other lists I've ever done. And like I said, I'm going to be finishing out with a couple little surprises, doing a couple things here and there, and then movies will be coming soon, that list. So thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for tuning in to ChannelBK. Peace out, everybody.